In his increasingly desperate effort to find out his stolen money, Franklin became fully insane and uncontrollable. He eventually broke Teddy, and just as he was about to get his money back, Sissy went crazy and shot Teddy. Franklin was devastated by Sissy's action. Here is a breakdown of what happened. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Louie is comfortably packing to leave town when Franklin paged her and informed her that the drug enforcement have been surveilling her and knows she's been working with Teddy. He told her that they have all the hard evidence against her and that the drug enforcement will soon raid her home. Teddy advises her to run as soon as possible. While on the phone, authorities pull into her driveway. Louie quickly hangs up, sneaks out and runs on foot down the street. Disgraced Officer Buckley picks her up, and as he drives, he asks if she has money stashed somewhere. Louie told him that she has $1 million in cash at her house outside of Ojai. He agrees to take her, but only if she agrees to split it into half with him. Louie accepts the offer after some hesitation. Louie has been suspicious of Buckley since Jerome's death. When Buckley pulls the car over to pee, Louie goes through his glove compartment and takes his gun. She gets out of the car to find Buckley smoking a crack. This makes her more suspicious and demands to see his pager by pointing the gun at him. Searching through the device, she sees that on the day she was kidnapped, Jerome paged Buckley for help, but he didn't respond. Louie gets very upset and threatens to shoot the former officer if he doesn't give her the car keys. He tossed them and then she drives off. Teddy is being tied to a chair by Gustavo and Franklin in a warehouse. Teddy mocks Franklin's most recent decisions, to which Franklin responds that he has long moved past a stage where he acts sensibly or does sensible decisions. Gustavo and Franklin brings in Ruben and chained him in the same room with Teddy. Ruben begs Franklin to release him, but Franklin and Gustavo ignore him and cover his head with a hood as well. Shortly after Sissy and Leon arrived, Franklin drives Gustavo to the airport, but before Gustavo boarded the plane, he made Franklin promise him that Teddy will surely be eliminated, so that he will not have the chance to come after Gustavo and his family. When left alone with Ruben and Teddy, Sissy has private conversations with each of them. She lashes out at Ruben for using her and her kid as pawns to bring down Teddy. According to Ruben, he was carrying out the instructions of his KGB superior. Ruben claims that the KGB has audio recordings of his meetings with Franklin, which the KGB might release to the press if they don't hear from him. He asks Sissy to release him and allow him to take care of Teddy. Although Sissy is tempted to allow him to leave, she knows her son would never approve of it. Teddy then asks for Sissy's assistance in a conversation with her. He claims that Alton is still alive. Teddy said that he drugged and abducted Alton on the day of his alleged death, but kept Alton hidden in a Puerto Rican jail cell thereafter. Sissy is shocked by this information and went out. Franklin meets Teddy at the warehouse, and he plays the dangerous game of Russian roulette with Teddy's life. Twice, he pulls the trigger while demanding the return of his money. Teddy suspects Franklin of using blanks in the risky game. Franklin fired the pistol in the air and it went off. Shocked by Franklin's recklessness, Teddy claims Franklin has gone insane, knowing that the bullet in the chamber could have been buried in his head. Just before Franklin started another round, Sissy entered the room and stopped him. Sissy begs Franklin to let the KGB take care of Teddy, and for them to just walk away. She asserts she doesn't want them to be killers. Franklin disagreed. At the safe house, Veronique lets Franklin know they are officially out of money and have bounced their first check. She reiterates the importance of getting the stolen money sooner rather than later, before pulling out a bottle of corn oil, which will later be used to mercilessly burn Teddy. Franklin returns to Teddy and again asks about his millions. Teddy doesn't tell him what he wants to hear, making Franklin to rip open Teddy's shirt and pour hot corn oil on his chest, severely burning him. Gasping in severe pain, Teddy calls Franklin an animal, and Franklin responded by saying that Teddy made him this way. Franklin asked Teddy why he stole the money. At first, Teddy says he stole it because the money could help the U.S. fight enemy and help preserve democracy. Franklin doesn't buy it. Teddy then confesses that he stole the money because it never belonged to Franklin. Teddy claims it was his cocaine and his operation, and he alone made Franklin into the kingpin he is. Teddy goes on to say Franklin only had what he did because Teddy allowed it. Before Franklin starts the second round of burning Teddy with the hot oil, Teddy offers to split the $70 million with Franklin. Surprisingly, Franklin agrees to the deal. Sissy is in disbelief that Franklin agrees to let Teddy go after what happened. She thinks her son is stupid to think that Teddy will forget everything and move on after gaining freedom. Franklin has already made his mind and was willing to take the risk, instead of leaving with nothing. Miss Saint agrees to go with the plan under the condition that Franklin never sees her again after the exchange is completed. The young saint agreed with her condition. Franklin, Teddy, and Sissy meet up with Havemeyer in a public place. Teddy then calls the bank to transfer half of the money to Franklin as agreed, and as he was on the final phase of the transfer, Sissy approached and asked him about the whereabouts of her husband's detention place in Puerto Rico. He mockingly responds that the story he told her about Alton being alive was bullshit, and that he did in fact murdered Alton. The remarks make Sissy infuriated. And as Teddy is about to give the bank teller on the phone the passwords necessary to transfer the money, Sissy brings out a gun and shot Teddy 3 times in the chest, as Franklin and Havemeyer look on with shock and utter disbelief. Havemeyer immediately walks away, and Franklin runs away after Sissy refuses to go with him. She knelt down and unregrettably waited for the police to arrive at the scene and arrest her. All Franklin wanted was his $73 million back. Nothing could stop or distract him from getting it back either, something he boastfully declares. "Hear me very clear," he says to Sissy and Leon in the episode. "I'll never give up. Never. I will get my money back." Franklin's pursuit of his money stopped him from appropriately grieving the death of his uncle Jerome. It stopped him from seeing the perspectives of anyone who questioned his decisions in the slightest bit. It caused him to curse out Veronique's mother earlier this season, and it made him kill Teddy's grandfather. In Season 6 of Snowfall, Franklin could not see past the money, and while the journey towards it seemed worth it when he had a chance at getting it, maybe things could have been a bit different if he considered other options. The Snowfall series finale airs on Wednesday, April 19th, on FX. It becomes available to stream the next day on Hulu. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.